Hello guys, welcome back. My name's Nathan and today I'm going to be making my final NHL Seattle team name predictions. Now for today's video, I'll be going through my predictions for the most likely NHL Seattle team names, going through number 5 to number 1, and ultimately choosing the name who I think will be picked by the NHL Seattle expansion team. But which team names do I see being the most likely, which team names get into my top 5, and which team do I think Seattle will end up naming themselves as? Watch till the end, and of course, subscribe if you're new. Now, for the official unveiling of the team name, we won't have to wait too long. It was confirmed by Todd Lewicki, the president and CEO of NHL Seattle, that it'll likely be unveiled in February or March alongside the logo and potentially the jersey. But I still want to get my predictions out because while they've already probably selected one at this point, there is still a ton of names out there besides the obvious that could be in the running for the actual official NHL Seattle team. Now, a good example of that variety comes at number 5, and for my 5th most likely team name for NHL Seattle, I have the Seattle Emeralds. Now, they're considered right now to be the 3rd most likely team across betting sites, but for me personally, I don't really see the Emeralds name sticking as much as some other people. I think it is definitely one of the most likely names, but for me personally, I don't see Seattle actually going with it, especially compared to the other team names that I'll go with. But when it comes to overall presence, I think Emeralds is a pretty solid name, definitely better than some others that Seattle has listed, but I still don't see it as the most likely. While it could be an option for Seattle, I don't really see it happening. And another reason I see it as really unlikely for a team like that to happen is with the whole color scheme that NHL Seattle is going for right now. When it comes to their whole generic wordmark logo right now, it's red, it's black, it's white, and while those might be placeholder colors, I really hope it is because that would be super generic if they went that way, it doesn't exactly fit with the whole green emerald look. And I'm pretty on board with an emerald logo slash jersey color scheme, bright green and all this different colors I think could definitely work. But in Seattle's case, I don't see them going in that direction. I don't see them really using those colors, and that's another big reason why. Now, I personally am pretty on board with the Emeralds look. It's not my favorite name in the world. It wouldn't be my favorite team name, but when it comes to an overall package, I would like it a heck of a lot more than some other team names that are even on this list, but I just don't see it as a likely thing. The color scheme, the name, I just don't think it fits for what they're going for, and I just don't see them choosing it. But going on to number 4, and in my opinion, a lot more of a realistic option, a crazy option, but a more realistic one, that being the Seattle Kraken. Now, in my videos in the past, I made it no secret that I think the Kraken is the best name they should go for, the best possible one, just going all out crazy and all out fun. I personally think it would be the best thing Seattle could do for themselves, but I don't see it as the most likely thing. And when it comes to the 13 copyrighted names that the Seattle team put out there, the Kraken are about middle of the road when it comes to odds right now for the actual team itself. But I put them at number 4 because I think there's a lot of support out there for that name, as there should be, and just thinking of the potential logo and colors and everything just gets me way too excited. And I'll also admit, I've been on the Kraken train for a long time. And if Seattle ends up naming themselves the Kraken, having this beautiful logo, beautiful color scheme and everything, I'm gonna put them in as one of my favorite teams, automatically. With that name alone is so freaking amazing that I just have to. But the thing is, just like the Emeralds, I don't see it fitting for them unless they do go the crazy route, unless they do go that way. And I think with some hope, there comes with it, because with the Vegas Golden Knights, who would have predicted that 1, they named themselves the Golden Knights, and 2, not even have Las Vegas as their name, the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, it's a crazy name, but we kind of got used to it. But with the Seattle Kraken, it's somewhat similar to that. It's not a boring name, it's not just a thing historically, it's a mythical creature, it's an amazing mythical creature, and while I would love to see it happen, again, just like the Emeralds, I don't see it as too likely. Now heading in on to number 3, my third most likely Seattle NHL team name, we're now going to go to a name that I think is a lot more likely than the Emeralds or even the Totems, that being the Seattle Rainiers. Now I personally do not like this name whatsoever, but I see it as one of the most likely ones. Of course, with the actual name itself, it is paying homage to the Mount Rainier in Washington, close to Seattle, so that's where the name does come from. But as just a team name in general, I really don't like it for Seattle specifically, because the thing is, when you think about Seattle, I don't think about mountains. I don't really point to, oh, the mountains in Seattle, yeah, the famous mountains, sure. I don't really think about that too much. And sure, the Rainier would be a fine logo and it would be a mountain just like the Colorado Avalanche. It just kind of is the same thing for me. It's not different and it's not really all that unique. Okay, so I'm just now realizing that Mount Rainier is a volcano and not a mountain. So if you excuse me, I'm just going to forget this whole conversation happened. Alright, moving on to the second pick. And this will be the team that I think just misses the nomination, will be the runner-up for the number 1. In my opinion, it'll be the Seattle Totems. Now, the Seattle Totems, I think, again, are the second most likely team, but I think could realistically, very realistically, be the team Seattle ends up choosing. Of course, the Seattle Totems, an old CHL team, was a team from 1944 to 1974, and they had a pretty long run in Seattle, were the main hockey team there, and I think if they go back to the Seattle Totems name, it would be a great homage to the past history of Seattle, and I think would make a lot of sense. And the potential logo and jersey combination would also be very sweet. Now, you guys know I'll always be number 1 for the Kraken. They will always be my number 1 choice. But if it did end up being the Seattle Totems, I wouldn't be mad whatsoever. If anything, they would be my number 2 choice, and I would like them as a potential runner-up. But if they were the team, I think it would be so sweet. Again, paying homage to the team before them, from the CHL, just thinking of the potential logo and jersey gets me pretty excited. And just thinking of the logo they could create on a hat, I think it would work pretty beautifully. Now, I'm not sure if they'll go for the black and red color scheme, because I think you would introduce a lot more colors in that type of thing, but I think it would work for Seattle, paying homage to the past of the hockey there, and also with some fresh new ideas, paying homage to the Seattle area. I think it kind of works in every single way, and I think for a sports team, would be pretty freaking sweet. And besides the Kraken, I still think the Totems would be the best possible name, but unfortunately, I don't think they'll be the team picked. Going into my number 1, in my opinion, the team name that Seattle will go with, and will stick with, and will name themselves as, I gotta go with the Seattle Sockeyes. It's pretty much considered everywhere to be the favorite for the team name. And there's definitely some other options, that's the whole point of this video, but to me the Sockeyes are the most likely option, and unfortunately, the thing that Seattle will go with. Now, for a little bit of background on this team name, the Sockeye are a version of salmon that is heavily found in the Seattle area, so keep that in mind. But when it comes to potential team names, again, it's highly regarded as the most likely team name, and I think that's what Seattle will go with. But I could make a whole video about this team name and why I would just despise it so much. I think it's the most likely name, but in my opinion, out of the 5 names I've listed, it is easily my least favorite. But it doesn't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things, because the Seattle Sockeyes will likely be the name that Seattle does end up choosing. And to me, there is a pretty big gap between Sockeye and the rest of the teams even in this list. I mean, just with the Totems number 2, I think there's a pretty sizable gap between the Sockeyes and the Totems, even at this point for the likelihood of the name. And it's pretty much the boring one, in my opinion. You go with the Sockeyes, and that's fine. It fits also with the color scheme they're going for, with the red, the black, and the white. It just fits for Seattle. It's the name that is likely to happen, and while it is predictable, I still think it'll be the one they go with. Sadly, I would love to see some other names that I think would be a lot more interesting and a lot better for them, but alas. But no matter what name they end up picking, we all know what name they do end up pick as a name in February or March. Either of those 2 months in early 2020, that's when we'll get the official confirmation and the official unveiling. I don't know if they'll have this whole party and event like the Vegas Golden Knights did, but it will be an event to look out for. It will be an exciting one, and even if it is the Seattle Sockeyes, even if I had to take back some grudges, I still will be fine with it. And hey, Seattle getting a new NHL team, that's always fun to see. But of course, with this video, the most important thing is what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments down below your thoughts on the potential NHL Seattle team names. What team name do you see happening? Who do you see Seattle naming themselves as? And what team name do you want to see happen? But if y'all want some more Grav videos just like this one, y'all should click on this card right here to watch my complete playlist surrounding the 2020 NHL Draft, all the prospects, and all my scouting reports. But that'll be it for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Comment down below your thoughts on the potential team names, what you think will happen, and what you want to see happen. Make sure you share this video with your friends, get the predictions out there, because the Seattle team name is coming, boys. I'm Nathan, and I'll see y'all next video or stream. Goodbye.